Welcome, everybody. Bienvenue, Anine. Really thrilled to have you here for the next TDSB webinar series. We're going to invite you to put your microphones on mute at this point, if you haven't done that already, so that we can hear all of the incredible speakers that we've got lined up for today. We were saying that this webinar probably has the most speakers we've had, because we wanted to introduce you to all of the fantastic work that's being done around Earth, and it's either Earth Month, Earth Week, Earth Day, depending on how you and your school celebrate. So without further ado, we're going to do a land acknowledgement to begin. Just know that we've got an incredible series of speakers, and we'll be introducing each one of them separately just as we get underway today. I'd like to introduce you to the work of Nico Williams. I've just met or been introduced myself to Nico's work recently. Nico is Anishinaabe and a member of the Amjindan First Nation community near Sarnia, though he currently lives and works in Montreal. He's a multidisciplinary and often collaborative practice that's centered around sculptural beadwork. And he speaks of using the bright tactile materiality and relational nature of beadwork. I'd never thought of it that way before, to explore the ways we live through connections with objects, place, and language. He creates sculptures that are hand woven from hundreds, if not thousands, of glass beads. And this is often done in collaborative ways and in community with others. And these really become points of relation between the multiple hands that weave them. I really do take his work as an aesthetic reminder of the ways that we all need to work in collaboration as we learn to care for each other, for all living beings, and for the land. Each bead, if you will, metaphorically, that we contribute can help to work towards a new image for decolonization and reconciliation in the daily pattern of our lives. I did bring this work in specifically because it's part of an exhibition that's at the Art Gallery of Hamilton right now, that is focusing on contemporary forms of beadwork by Indigenous artists. So I encourage you to go and see that. It's on until the end of May. Now, I should say that I forgot to introduce myself and my colleagues to begin today. My name is Hilary Inwood. I'm the coordinator of the Sustainability Climate Action Network at OISE, and we work in close partnership with the Toronto District School Board's Sustainability Office. And I'd like to introduce you to my colleagues, Jen Vetter and Chris Metropolis, who are here in the room today, and also one of my co-workers who has been doing some amazing work with us too this year, Tien Pham, who's one of our doctoral students at OISE. We've got lots of presenters in the room, so we're going to get right underway today. I'm going to stop sharing my screen and invite our first presenter, Nancy Gillis. Nancy, to introduce, and just one second, I'm just going to pull up the bios for all of our amazing presenters today. Nancy's a grade 3-4 teacher at Cresthaven PS in North York here in the GTA. Cresthaven is a longtime eco school. It has a rich outdoor education program, and it's been a platinum school since 2014, and that has a lot to do with Nancy. Nancy, I like to consider sort of the queen, one of the many queens maybe of eco schools. I follow her on Twitter. She's a very active Twitter account going, but it's just so impressive, Nancy, all of the work that we see you doing at your school. So Nancy, welcome. You're going to be the first of our very active eco schools teachers to introduce your practice around Earth Day today.
Thank you. I hope I can live up to that lovely introduction. I'm going to share my screen just to make sure that everything is working as it should. I will just say, while the entry poll is happening, that I really appreciate being here, and even a platinum school that was so enriched in a lot of eco things and traditions that were just a part of our culture and a part of who we are coming out of the pandemic. It's really hard to get all of that back in place. So I think if you're just here tonight, that's a great first step. And please know that even schools that had eco-literacy just embedded in everything that was who we were as a school, it's a challenge coming out of the pandemic to feel like we are who we were. And I think we're learning that we have to rebuild, and maybe we're going to be something new and different and even better. So I've tried in piecing together what I want to share today. Tried to sort of find some things that are maybe easy entry points, and then a little bit more involved depending on where you are right now. I will say last year, our Eco Week so to speak, was maybe only a couple of activities. I'm hoping for something very much like what I'm going to present today for this year, but it's taking time to rebuild. So hopefully, you know, from all the presenters today, you'll pull something from everyone, and you know, you don't have to do it all at once. Sometimes just a little inspiration, maybe some things you do this year and some things you do next year. My Twitter handle is there. Hillary mentioned I do tweet a lot, so and I'm happy to share these slides in full later, so you'll have access to that. And then my school Twitter, and from that, if you would also follow Melissa Bulgach, because she is our full-time outdoor environmental literacy teacher. Not what I'm talking about today, but check her out, well worth it. One of the things that we started last year was what we called Earth Care Book Share. So the way this works, and I just got my book today, teachers sign up for an environment-themed book, a read-aloud book, something you can read within 10 minutes that you're going to read to kids from the school. The kids are then shown, so let's say there's 12 teachers on our staff. The kids are then shown the 12 books that they have to choose from, and they choose a session 1, 2, and 3. They don't know which teachers are reading which books. And just to add a little layer of fun, we also leave our classrooms and go to somebody else's classroom. So they know they're going to room 104 to read for a read aloud of The Plastic Bag, but they don't know which teacher is going to be in there. They just know which story they're going to listen to. And then they rotate through 3 books. So they're all mixed up. We have our older kids take our kindergarten kids. They take their kindergarten buddies, so that part is sort of shadowed with the little ones, but everyone just kind of hears the chimes and they rotate to their next book, and they get 3 stories read to them. They all have an environmental theme. They see a teacher in a different space. They have a bit of a surprise. So it's a really simple one to pull together. The staff doesn't have to commit much. Hey, we're going to set aside this hour. We do it in an hour. We're setting aside this hour. Everybody's going to rotate through. You're going to read your story 3 times. Different kids come in. You have a little list of who's coming, and it's pretty easy. So if anyone needs a little bit more on how exactly does that work, feel free to reach out to me afterwards. You can message me on Twitter, or I can share my email as well afterwards. But that's a really nice, easy way to get your whole school involved, and it's not a lot of prep for your teachers. So highly recommend it. We've got ours underway. And we will do that on the Wednesday of Earth Week this year. Last year, so these are last year we did 2 new things that we hadn't done before. And this is the other thing that we did, was a door design contest. We had done a door design contest for Black History Month for the first time, and the kids had really liked it. So we decided, hey, you know what, we could do it for Earth Week as well. But if we're going to do it for Earth Week, we've got to be very considerate of the environment in how we do it. So people used the one with the wreath there and the flowers. That was all things from the goosepaper bin. So all the materials for their work were from the goosepaper bin, and there's some egg cartons that they recycled there. That next one with the basket of goodies was one that my class did. So we hung a basket with items in it that we then just put back to where they belong. The leprechauns you see there were an art activity they had done with a different teacher in the school that we then repurposed. So instead of sending the art home, we reused it. We added messages. They wrote a whole story, which you can't quite see there, on cardboard, which we took from a box, that talked about that the earth is our pot of gold. So that was our messaging, and everything that went into the door was somehow reused. The one that you see in French there, that's actually their Black History Month door, that butcher block paper that they left on and used again as their backdrop. And again, they used all goose paper for their signage, and their signage was in French. I think that the one, the kindergarten one there, if I recall, somehow that even that paint was involved some recycled materials as well. So I find that the kids really enjoy the door design. We went with, we had a theme, and our theme was a part of, I think, I'm trying to remember where we got our theme from. It was a theme related to Earth Day. I think it was from the earthday.org. I think they had a theme for the year. And so our rubric went with that theme as well. So that's a really a fun one that the kids really enjoy. That again, teachers need to set aside some time and a little creativity in terms of repurposing and recycling materials. We do have a makerspace, so that did allow people to kind of have easy access to things, but the kids can be pretty creative in terms of how they might go about that. I know someone else is talking about textiles and a textile related topic, so I don't want to spend very long on it, but I just want to share a couple of things here. The tree cage that you see there, that is strips from recycled flags. So flags that were misprinted or you know, something was wrong about the flags. They were seconds in some way that ended up at Art Junction. And so we cut them into strips, and it was nice because every class could have a tree cage. So every class had their own cage where they were responsible for the weaving. And because the weaving was all done with flags, it was very weather resistant. It took a long time before it started to fade. That was really cool. And the others are some textile. We had a sale one year during Earth Week. This was mainly driven by our club, but you could also have you know, each class at your school come up with a different product that they're going to sell that's somehow using textile recycling as part of it. So we had little scraps of fabric that went onto some recycled pots, and we sold those with seeds. The t-shirt at the bottom, those t-shirts were being cut up and tied to make bags. The blue things that you see there in that top center picture, they were donated from a bank, and they were checkbook cases, which nobody uses anymore. So they donated, they're almost like a little pencil case. And we just took little fabric scraps and used the fancy scissors to make little squares, and the kids learned how to sew them on, and they became like a decorative pencil case that they sold. So again, you could have every class just come up with one item, one product that they're going to recycle some textiles or other items as well. I'm wearing earrings that we made out of, I don't know if I'm turning them the right way or if you can even see them, but we made them out of paper scraps and paint made from markers. And we made little earrings that we sold as well. So kind of beyond textiles. But if you have enough time, yeah, having a class, every class makes something, and then you decide what you're doing with those proceeds, who you might donate them to, where they might go. We have also in the past had our own little film festival. I'm big on 1-minute eco films. That's something I love to do with my class every year. I'm not going to play the one right there that's there, but you can find it on YouTube if you Google Cresthaven Public School. Look what's coming down the line. That's a great 5-minute film on an oil pipeline that's right beside our school. But we have at other times had every class produce a 1-minute video, or maybe in small groups they're making a short environmental film and the class is choosing the best one for a school film festival. So, you know, you come to the gym, you could add popcorn or other layers, but we kind of made that our eco assembly. You come to the gym and you watch the different classes films and what they produced, and the students can introduce it a little bit. And it's kind of your own homegrown film festival. And that's been really successful in the past. Past that.
And Nancy, I'm going to have to ask you just to make this your last one, because
this is my last one. I tried to do 5 days here for you. So a climate action walk is a really nice way to end your week. Not all of these walks are walks that we did during Earth Week per se, but certainly you could make Earth Week the time when you go on a climate walk. So we've done water walks, we've done polar bear walks, and we've done like a school strike type walk. And so it's just a great way. The kids can make posters, the kids can make announcements, and then they get out on the streets and they get cheering and cars honking and supporting them. And that is always just a really huge sort of school community. The bottom picture with the polar bear walk, the kids we bought the kids white hats, and they made their own sort of ears and that to be the polar bears. So it's a real one that you're all out there as a school, and they feel really grand sort of going on that walk as a school. And it doesn't have to be far. It can be a loop through the neighborhood to just give them that sense of they're marching for something. They're taking action. It is nice if it has a focus, but certainly that's a great way to end Earth Week. And those were my top 5 that I came up with for this year. We've done many other things, but those were 5 that I thought might resonate with others. And my very last slide, if anyone happens to be celebrating Passover this week, I just wanted to share what we did on our Seder plate last year, and that was to add a block of ice for climate change. And throughout your meal, it melts as you're talking, and it allows a great opportunity to consider that as well. And I know Passover is in a couple of days, so a little off topic, but I wanted to share that as well. And that's it for me. hopefully.
Thank you, Nancy. Nancy, I know you could probably go for the full 45 minutes. That's probably true of a lot of the teachers that we're talking to today. I will say that thank you, by the way, for all the inspiration. And thank you so much for all that you do at your school and in your community, because it's impressive. And I'm hoping you got some new followers just from introducing in just a couple of minutes of what you do today. I will say that we're kind of likening today to speed dating, if you will. Lots of ideas in a short amount of time. So I will apologize in advance to our next series of presenters, because it's not going to do justice to all of that they do in their schools. There's no doubt about that. But we still wanted them to have an opportunity to share what they do. So the first teacher up is Aaliyah Ali. Aaliyah is a grade 8 teacher at Churchill Heights. She has presented in these webinars previously. She's been doing Earth Day whole school celebrations for almost 10 years. And is planning to get her specialist in environmental education this summer. And Leah,
that's a little nudge to you, Hillary, because you have a lot to do with whether that happens.
Well, you and I can have that chat afterwards.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you for your lovely introduction. And I want to start by thanking Nancy for your comment in the beginning of your presentation about how difficult it can be to come back from the pandemic to have school-wide activities. Everyone's in a different place, and we want to respect what everyone is able to do. And with that, I feel like my Earth Day this year is going to be maybe 82% of what it has been in the past. And so it's encouraging to know that I'm not the only one who feels that. I want to share just an overview of some of the things that I've done in the past. In the past, I've often been teaching grade 7 and grade 8 science at the same time. And over the years, I've kind of planned my curriculum to have my environmental based units during the spring prior to Earth Day, so that student work can be showcased for an assembly. Now, I will preface by saying I do teach in a gifted program where I have very motivated students, and they're able to do a lot for the school quite independently. And so Earth Day has been a presentation that is entirely designed and run by students. In fact, I've had years where I couldn't be there and students have run the entire show on their own. This year, I'm going to be looking to collaborate with teachers from other years. And in fact, I've had a request. I was going to do it on April 20th, but with Ramadan still being on at that point and our school not doing any music, because of that, I'm going to postpone the celebrations or the Earth Day presentation until the following week so that students can perform and can witness music presentations for Earth Day without compromising their beliefs. With that, I already have some reading buddy groups that are going to be doing one's a more serious presentation about recycling, and one is a song. I plan to have my grade 8s as one of their water assignments for the science curriculum, have someone tell the story of the journey of a drop of water through the city, where it goes and why it's important to keep our waterways clean. The importance of clean drinking water for all, and a quick look at environmental racism and the power corporations have over the right in Indigenous communities. My students by this point, will have studied the documentary There's Something in the Water, which is an incredibly powerful presentation about environmental racism in Nova Scotia. And I hope that they will come bring something that is understandable and useful for the rest of our population. And I'm going to introduce Autumn Peltier and have students, probably grade 6 students, do a presentation on that. Moving to my next slide, I just have a quick list of a few different activities that we've done in addition. So following the Earth Day Assembly, we have grade 8 students going to class doing various activities. We've done a whole school water walk where they have weighted buckets. We've done recycling bin origami using goose paper, storytelling in younger classes, recycling bin sorting activities where we use flyers as pictures, walking to local green spaces and having a discussion led by my students of what students appreciate about those activities. And overall, I just want to keep things, and there's a few other things on my slides. I want to keep things simple and accessible to both teachers and students so that it's not, I want other teachers to see it's not a huge effort that you need to do to bring environmental appreciation and activism to your classroom, to your students.
Aaliyah, thank you so much. A little quick taste of what you've been doing, but it sounds like it's a really rich program that you've got going. And I love that you're developing student leadership so actively. That's fantastic. So
Thank
next
you very
up,
much.
yeah, and thank you for sharing your ideas. Next up is Val Verheyen. Val, I'm hoping I'm pronouncing your last name appropriately. Oh, I'm getting a thumbs up. Okay, that's good. Val's a kindergarten teacher, and she's been the lead eco-schools teacher at Greenland for the last 15 years. Greenland School has the legacy of being a platinum eco-school since 2012, which is so impressive, Val. Especially if you're able to maintain that through the pandemic. That's hats off to you. I don't know how you've done it. Greenland School has completed a community pollinator garden with a grant from Live Green at the City of Toronto.
Hi, everyone. So I'm going to also echo what Nancy and Aaliyah said about bravo for anyone who managed to keep stuff during the pandemic. And I know it wasn't easy. So this was one thing we did keep going because it was an outdoor activity and was allowed to happen. And it looked a little different than it will this year. So we're kind of excited. We've been doing it for 10 years. We call it our mulchathon. So we spread mulch to the trees. First of all, you can hear me, right? Make sure I'm not just talking without. Okay. We spread mulch to the trees and the other areas needed on our school grounds. And it's sort of a community area where lots of people use it. So it's when people come by and they've noticed that the trees have been taken care of. So we've run this last 10 years, and even the kids who come back, they're always like, you're still doing mulchathon this year. It's one of those things that if they remember anything, they seem to remember this day. So it's run school wide at Greenland School. We don't have per se an eco leadership team because we have a tiny school. We have 160 kids. So we say everyone is on the eco team, and they sort of just buy into that because they've done mulchathon, specifically ties them in since day one. We usually do it on Earth Day, but because of Eid, we're going to postpone it to the following Friday, and then we're doing our community cleanup on another day. So that's the only way it's going to look a little different. So we can go to the second slide. These are the 4 activities we do. It is run by a smaller group of, the highest we have is grade 5 at my school. So by grade 4 and 5 students who get these team jerseys that say Greenland on them. They have a tree on the front, and they're recycled from the 1970s, were left behind at our school. So our kids wear those. And because they've done these activities since they're kindergarten, they already, by the time they get grade 4 or 5, they're quite advanced and they can run them themselves. So they run the 4 activities. They give a lesson on why we mulch and all that. And they also give a demonstration of how we do it. So it's 4 activities. It's kind of like DPA, like a heart pumping way to spread mulch. Classes sign up for a 40-minute slot. Now you could do more than, because our school's so small, only 1 class comes up per session. But you could definitely, there's enough mulch when it comes, because it comes from the city, or from TDSB, I mean. It could easily be done by more than 1 class at a time. So number 1 is the mulch relay. They run around. There is a video I have that I think they're going to share later with resources that show you specifically what these look like. It's a short 5-minute, 6-minute video. It shows you what the mulch actually looks like when we're doing it in a relay. So it's just an idea. You run across, give a mulch to someone else, they run to another spot, there's a pylon, and then they go drop it off there. There's the timed mulch drop, which we just given time. So 10 minutes go. How many, and the eco leaders will count how many buckets do they spread during that time. Then there's the human mulching chain where they pass the bucket along to each other. And the entire class lines up from one spot to another to a tree. And then we all cheer at the end when we do it. And the last one they seem to particularly like is the tarp drag, where they pour the mulch on one tarp. And again, eco leaders put the a pylon out somewhere else, and they carry it across to that spot. So you can order your mulch. We've always just say, can we have it before Earth Day? And they've always delivered it every year on time. And we've always had enough to spread to all our trees to make the donuts around our tree, and any like soggy areas we've also put it in. And that's really how our mulchathon happens every year. Thanks.
Thank you so much, Val. My kids used to participate in this at their school, and they loved it. That's that combination of DPA and embodied learning, and also doing something good for the earth. So that's a fantastic activity to highlight. Thank you so much. Our next teacher is Erin Way, and Erin, along with her partner Esther Lung, work at Cole John English Junior Middle School. They head up their very large and diverse eco team at the school, consisting of middle school students who are youth in action, elementary students from the Eco Club, and staff. Esther teaches grade 2 and 3, and Erin teaches grade 7, but both have been on staff at John English for the past 9 years. And there's no doubt that being in a school for a little while, it really does allow you to deepen your practice around eco team and Earth Day activities for sure. Both teachers enjoy incorporating eco initiatives into their daily teaching to make things meaningful for their students. So Erin, I think you're here to speak on behalf of both of you. Welcome.
Yes, and Esther's here too. She joined us. Hopefully you can hear us and see us. Here
Hi.
Welcome, Esther. Sorry, I didn't know you were in the room.
Yes, so we're going from one extreme to the other. We've got 820 students, more or less, at our large primary, junior, middle school.
Yeah.
So these are some of the activities that we're doing at John English for Earth Month.
So we have a battery blitz that we've collaborated with Earth Rangers, and they've also been able to provide us with a animal endangered species assembly for us. We're trying to start up meatless meal announcements and promotion, textile drives that we're going to try and collaborate with, I guess, other we're doing a musical this year, so we're thinking of trying to get like textiles used and repurposed for other functions in our school. We are doing a community cleanup, and a lot of the grade 2-3 grades are doing seed sprouting for our pollinator and food gardens, and the grade 7 and 8s are doing a Earth Day, Play Day, planning and leading sessions. So
yeah, next slide.
Lots of stuff.
Perfect. So we're going to focus just a little on an annual event that we do at our school, which is run through the city. Clean Toronto Together is the annual spring cleanup that the City of Toronto sort of organizes. And it brings together, obviously, Toronto residents, community groups, schools, businesses, city staff to help clean litter from our streets and public spaces. And interestingly, it's the largest municipal cleanup in Canada. And the city offers a registration. So if your school is participating on the school cleanup day, which is April 21st, it's recommended to register through the City of Toronto Clean Toronto Together website. We also learned recently from our old eco team head that in fact, the City of Toronto is no longer providing materials for the cleanup, but Pitch in Canada is still providing bags. So if you register your cleanup with Pitch in Canada, they will send you a package of materials that you can use for your cleanup, sort of depending on the size. So school cleanup day is Friday, April 21st. They'll ask you to sort of specify where you're planning to clean and in case there's any sort of permits that are needed. And at our school, we're really lucky to have a large and engaged staff, and they're all happy to take their classes out to do a community walk and clean up. We often send out sort of an organization type email the week before cleanup day, outlining the activity, the expectations, and sort of registration spots for each class. It's important that teachers discuss what to do if students encounter any sort of unsafe materials, broken glass, needles, that sort of thing, so that we make sure that we're covering our sort of safety points during the cleanup. We then print out a map and we put it in our staff room, and the staff sort of highlight where their class is going to go, depending on the level, age of students. We've got some of our grade 8s that will actually venture all the way to Lake Ontario and do a shoreline cleanup, which is only about 2 blocks from our school. And of course, the kindergarten and primary students stay much closer. They do a schoolyard tidy and close around the school.
Yeah, and they can do it at different times because like right after recess, there's another session available.
Yeah, so they register for whatever time works for them, and they take their kids out, and it's a wonderful spring activity and a great way to get students out. Yeah, so we've really enjoyed this and had lots of success engaging the whole school. We can quickly talk about our next 7 R's play day slide if it's there. Yes, perfect. So we kind of just picked the 7 R's just to kind of consolidate how to sort of fit in the 17 SDG goals, because we found that kind of overwhelming. So to kind of bottleneck it down to 7 R's, the grade 7 classes can, with like kind of pre-planned activities, they can then, I guess, extend from there what other activities they want to do for the primary grades. So we kind of do the organization for like where and who is participating, but the grade 7s are the ones who are actually going to be leading and running the whole entire thing.
Yeah, and I think another teacher is going to discuss a little more around play day, so we'll probably leave it at that.
Yeah.
That's great. Thank you so much. Sounds like you've got a really active program there. Fantastic ideas. And I think you're right. The community cleanup day is a fantastic way to get children involved and really feel like they're making a difference in their community. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'd like to introduce you next to Jessica Haber. Jessica is a grade 1-2 teacher at Essex Hawthorne Public School, passionate about outdoor learning, early literacy, and land-based learning. And she heads up the grade 4-8 eco team there. Welcome, Jessica.
Hi, thanks for having me. So our school has also been celebrating Earth Week for a long time, being one of the Platinum Eco schools and doing all kinds of different things, some of which have already been talked about. I have a few pictures here, outdoor play days. We've done single-use plastic reduction pledges, the community cleanup around our schoolyard, recycling drives of various types, batteries, markers, textiles. And last year we set up an indoor greenhouse in our school, so got involved in a lot of seed planting for our new pollinator garden and got the kids busy. But the slide I'm going to talk to you about today, which is the next one, and one of the things we're choosing to work on this month, is our textile recycling drive. So for the past, I think 2 years since COVID, we've been working with recycling rewards that was suggested by Eco Schools as a service that would collect recycled textiles from the community. And lots of parents have been really enthusiastic and bring in bags and bags of stuff. So this year we're just trying to really pare it down a little bit to focus on kind of that idea of repurposing and reusing as well. So we're beginning actually with the staff at the school just mid-month, and we're doing a staff clothing exchange. We've had a few and they've been successful, and lots of us bring in our things and get some new clothes for the spring, and the things that aren't really ready to just be recycled. And then we're also going to be taking from parents 2 types of like new or brand new donations this year. So we're an Opal school, an outdoor play and learning school, and we like to have a clothes lending library, especially with coats and rain gear and boots that we keep current with all the sizes. So we're asking parents this time to bag sort of like new outdoor gear separately, and we're going to use that to beef up our library because a lot of it went missing during the school closures. And we also have a refugee center in our neighborhood and some low-income housing, so we always have some families in our school that are in need, and to do that in a way that's, you know, respectful for them, but also we know there's people in our community who could use some new clothes. So we're asking parents to take clothes that are either brand new that their kids haven't worn, or really in like new condition that they would be happy for their children to wear, and package it separately. So this year the eco team is going to take those clothes and make packages of different sizes, and we're going to put them aside in a room that's not used that often, and kind of teachers will discreetly invite students who may like to look through and pick out some packages to take home for themselves or their siblings. So we're adding those levels into the textile recycling drive, just working on reducing our waste. And then of course, we'll collect all the recycling over the course of the week and have the company come pick it up. linked in the slide, and I'm sure, I don't know if the slides will be shared, but we've also gone through some resources about fast fashion. There's a lot of interest from the grade 6 to 8s on that. So there's some great videos out there that have been put out. FashionImpacts101.com is the website that's there on the slide. So some of the teachers with our older students are going to be doing that through the library program and in their classes, and doing a little bit of curriculum learning around sustainability and the sustainable development goals that go with that. So that's what we chose to highlight this year. I know there's lots of people left to present, so I won't talk for too long, but wanted to share that idea with you.
Thank you so much, Jessica. I love that I'm hearing some really clear connections to eco-justice as part of the work, and recognizing that there are people in need in our communities, that we can do two things: be great to the earth, but also be really, hopefully kind to other people in our community who are in need. So that's fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing those ideas. I'd like to introduce you next to Soraya Fabro and Tracy Donaldson, who are coming to you today from Woburn Junior Public School. Soraya is the core French and primary music teacher. She's also the eco leader for the Eco Club at Woburn Junior PS, and she's working with several schools and communities in the community to create a community garden at Woburn Collegiate for a second year running, which is fantastic. That's one of my passions, is educational gardening. So good on you, Soraya. And Tracy is the teacher librarian who works with K-6 students and has Growing Greens for All in the library, which I'm hoping we're going to hear about. Okay, welcome.
Hi, thank you very much. So I'm the teacher librarian who has a grow up in her library. But we're not here to talk about that. I have tower gardens in the library. Actually, today we just packaged 19 containers worth of greens. So it's wonderful to hand out to students and staff. So we're going to talk about Earth Day activities and something that we started last year with a wonderful leadership group of grade 6s. A play day for Earth Day, and we just did it in the morning because we had the afternoon for the cleanup. And so part of their Genius Hour projects through the year was to have something that related to sustainable goals. And so a couple of the students, their projects were around the earth and climate action. And so we have different stations. I've just put the sample of how we organized it. So a group of classes would come out for an hour, and then we switched, and the other half of the school came out for the next hour. We just had little 10-minute rotations of a variety of activities. So we had a scavenger hunt. I've linked a template there, so you can put in items that are related to what you know they will find in your school community area. And then we had some rock painting to put in our garden. We had bird watching and learning about birds. And then we had some seed and some recycled containers to put seed in and hang in our garden. We had outdoor games. We had building structures with a whole bunch. We saved a lot of our recycled materials, and then they just had to build like the tallest structure. It was a bit of a contest. And then at the rest station, we had some fruit, and then they had to compost banana peels, I guess. And then the students who had been working on projects, they displayed some of their projects and had some questions for students. And so one of the projects the students were working on were the beeswax wraps, part of the Youth Climate Action Grant that we received. So they were telling students about that. And another one talked about plastic in the ocean. Another one talked about water, and had some questions for students and some free TDSB water bottles for the contest winners. So we did a variety of activities, and it was successful. So this year we're looking at pulling in a grade 4 group who seems to want to be leaders over the grade 6s, which is nice because we'll blend them. And they're gonna work on organizing this in a couple of weeks. And I'll pass it to Soraya.
Hello, everyone. So our school is also participating in the Clean Toronto cleanup on the 21st. Like it was mentioned from Aaron and Esther from John English. Today, I've put together a collection of 40 books for you on different environmental topics with the help of my eco team partner, Alka. These books range from kindergarten to grade 8, because a lot of these books show how people can get involved in the environment and help their community and the world around them. I've also, on the small TV, you'll see that there's a Would You Rather Earth Day edition, which your kids can move around it, and they always love that. And the last one that I've presented you with, it's a young man, he's 13 years old. He's been recycling for 10 years, and he's made a massive impact in his community and even around the world. He has spoken throughout the United States and in Canada. And I'm also letting you know that there's lots of resources on your virtual library. And if you would like to learn more about climate change, there are books that can be found at the bottom of the screen in the Find tab in your virtual library. So I hope you enjoy these books, and feel free to use any of them that you see. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tracy and Soraya. That's fantastic. And I'm sure people are going to want to get their hands on this book list. So assuming we have permission from all of our speakers today to share their slides, then we will be sharing them so that you have the links to all of these resources. So next up is Christina Bridgman from Heather Heights. Christina is a grade 6 teacher at Heather Heights Public School. She's a busy mom of 2 boys. She loves her grade 6 class, and she leads the eco initiatives at her school alongside coaching volleyball in her spare time. She's always tried to think of how to incorporate new environmental learning opportunities into her teaching and throughout her school community. So welcome, Christina. Oh, Christina, we can't hear you right now. I don't see your microphone being turned on. It is turned on, but just try clicking it again. And if we can't hear you for any reason, we'll just have you pop out and come back into the room. Yeah, we can't hear you right now. I'm so sorry. Okay, she's going to pop out of Zoom and come right back in. Maybe what we'll do while we're waiting for Christina to come back in, we can easily pop back to her slides, is we'll invite Padma Besta from York Humber High School to pick up the slack for now. Is that all right, Padma? We're going to throw you right in. Padma is the science teacher at York Humber High School, which is a school for special needs. She's been working with the eco team for the last 15 years and is trying to bring environmental awareness to students and to staff.
Hi, Erin. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Welcome, Padma.
Okay. Hi, thank you so much for this opportunity to share our feeling of share.
Oh, you just hit your microphone actually accidentally, Padma. Just put it back on again.
Okay, sorry.
No, there you go. You're good. You're back.
Okay. I have here my friend Mona. We both work together here at York Humber High School. As I said, York Humber High School is a special school for the students with the special needs. Most of our students are IEPs, and then we have a DD program, a large DD program. Most of our kids are like non-verbal, verbal of different types. But even then, I try my level best to bring that little awareness in our students. We have, our school is a beautiful school located in the closest to the Humber River near the Scarlet Heights. And then we have the building is so beautiful, and then we have a lot of sunlight coming in. So we usually mostly focus on the plants inside the classrooms and in every classroom. So we are starting with the plant sale on April 10th until it goes until April 21st. It is in my room. I'm here. You can see at the back of my classroom, you see a lot of plants at the background, and we have a nice green room at the corner. And then you have a huge a nice greenhouse, and then I grow a lot of plants in here. So is the connection on? Okay, so the whole school, entire school loves plants. So we all like a plant lovers, because around our school we have like a nice walking area and the little wilderness closest to the river, Humber River here, just a walkable distance to us. We all are plant lovers. So every year we do this plant sale from last 3-4 years. Last year we raised almost $400 out of that. And then we are going to use that again to buy more stuff. And then we have 10 vegetable garden beds outside our school. So we're going to grow vegetables. And then we have, just today, we realized that we have 10 old tower gardens, which we are not using from after the COVID time. So we and Mona, we both actually planning to bring those towers back and grow food and greens in our schools. And then I put some, whatever the money I have from the plant sale, I'm going to put that in and then make that into a more, sustainable, and then teach the students how to grow plants and other things. Okay. And that is one part. And then we also going to have a pollinator garden at the backside of our school. And we have a composter, and then we have a lot of stuff. And last year we did that, started the pollinator garden. This year we are going to improve the pollinator garden. And the next part is we are going to start the Earth Day pledges. Every student in the school makes a pledge to what to do for the Earth Day, and then we'll create either a tree, we are just still planning, or maybe a large earth, so that we can bring all their pledges onto that place. That is what we did last time. And then we have Earth Day assembly on 21st. From period 1, our school is a small school. We have only 79 students at this time. And out of 79, half of them are DD and most of them are nonverbal. And yeah. So very small population, but even then they all are amazing students. They all love to be the part of the eco team. And then we have they bring great ideas, and they're like a really inspiration for us. I also booked for the Clean Toronto Together for 21st, and then I registered for that. Every year we do that. Every year we have been doing that from last 5-10 years. So last year we got platinum, and this year also we are going for the platinum certification. And this year, last year we did the West Park Healthcare Center, which is at our back doors. They are our backdoor neighbors. We included them in our eco team, our cleanup areas. This year, we are also planning to include, there is a small temple, which is like a Hindu temple, which is called Vedanta Society to the side. I might include them in our group, okay, for the cleanup. So that is all for now. Inside the school, each and every teacher and every staff in our school are well aware of that. It's the whole school activity. It is not that few teachers are working here for this Earth Day or something. The whole entire school involves in the Earth Day in our school, because it's a small school. Everybody knows everyone. Everybody's involved in that.
Thank you, Padma. It just goes to show that students with exceptionalities are just fantastic in environmental learning. That's great.
Can't even believe that. Yeah, amazing.
So pleased to hear that you've got the tower gardens going to be up and running, and Tracy's offered very kindly to help anybody who wants to do that.
Oh yeah,
ours up and running.
Thank you, Tracy. Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, thank you so much. Have a good one. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Padma. We're going to go back to Christina. Christina, do you want to say hello and see if we can hear you this time?
Can you hear me?
We can. Yay! Excellent.
Excellent.
Let me just pull your slides back up. There you go.
All right. Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to be hearing about everybody's ideas and to get to share some of the things that we're doing here at Heather Heights. So we are also going to be doing the community cleanup. This is a whole school initiative that has been sort of adopted by my entire school for many years. And we have such a great staff here. So it's sort of one of those things that's been embedded into our Heather Heights culture and that the kids look forward to doing every year. So that's kind of like a standard thing that we do here. One thing that my class is planning on doing is an Earth Day bulletin board. So I was really super inspired by our trip to Kearney this year. So I took some pictures and we're going to be using some of the pictures and some of the inspiration that we got from a bulletin board at Kearney to make one just outside of my class. So the kids are super excited to be taking part in that. We've done Goose Paper Day initiatives in the past. When we did it last year, the kids had lots of fun using the reusable boxes and decorating them and putting their boxes throughout the building, in the teacher resource rooms, in our photocopier rooms, so that we could help save paper. One thing I haven't done yet, but we are planning on doing for this Earth Day is making plastic bag bracelets. So I came across this idea and I thought it was a really great easy way to reuse plastic and get the kids aware of how to upcycle plastic bags. So there's instructions there in my slide that maybe I can post or we can share later. Just super easy instructions on how to weave plastic bags into bracelets. Another initiative, haven't done this one yet, but planning on it this year, is a climate change film called Happening to Us. A group of Tuktoyaktuk teens have made a film on climate change. And it's to discuss how climate change has affected their community in particular. And I can share that the link to that clip as well. The Waste Not Want Not. There is an infographic that I found that explores themes around plastic and how to eliminate plastic from our lives. So that is one my students are going to be exploring a little further. And then we're going to be doing an Earth Day walk. And that has to do with our school is going to be heading outside, picking up an item, and each student is going to be responsible for talking about how their item affects the environment or not, and that item will be used to help make a decomposing timeline, and I can post some pictures for that. So thanks for letting me share.
And thanks so much. You've got fantastic information and links in your slides, so I'm sure people will be very happy to have those. Thanks so much. That was great, Christina. I'm so glad you got your audio issue resolved.
Yeah, me too.
So I'd like to introduce you next to Amanda Brown. We've just got 2 teachers left, by the way, so we will be finishing just at 5 o'clock or maybe a little bit, just a couple minutes past it. Please stick around to hear the other 2 teachers we've got ready to go. Amanda Brown is a grade 3-4 teacher at Sir Adam Beck Junior Public School. She's lead of the Eco Schools program at the school, and she's been part of the Platinum Certified Eco School since 2018. Amanda, welcome.
Hey, thank you. So this year for Earth Week, we will be running a variety of daily Earth Day challenges leading up to Earth Day, with different challenges on our Eco Schools Google Classroom, so that students can participate at home with their families as well. But I will talk more about that initiative in a moment. We also have a student-led bookmark challenge using Canva for our junior students. It was started by a couple of grade 4 students who created the bookmarks you can see, and it grew from there. Eco Schools Green Team students will vote on their favorite bookmark. And our third initiative that we will be doing is the Clean Toronto Together. And this year we will be going cleaning up our schoolyard, the community around our school, and junior students will be headed to the local ravine. On the next slide, I will talk more about the daily Earth Day challenges. We started this initiative a couple of years ago, and it's kind of like a countdown to Earth Day, where we highlight different components and actions that you can take to help the environment. So we took this inspiration from the Earth Day org website challenges, and we turned 10 of them into a post onto our Google Classroom so that students can participate with their families. We also share each challenge with teachers at our school, and Eco School students share an announcement for each challenge to involve more than just the Green Team students. Each post has a description of the challenge, questions for students to answer. Sometimes they have a video to watch, often from Earth Day org YouTube channel. Sometimes we prepared a slide presentation or students have an audit that they have to complete. So I will quickly just go over the 10 challenges. Challenge 1 is how to reduce plastic at home with a plastic audit challenge. Challenge 2, how you can compost at home with a video showing coffee grain and eggshell composting. Challenge 3, create for the earth with a link to last chance to paint. Challenge 4 is an Earth Day bingo that students can complete throughout the week. Challenge 5 is just a eat plant-based where they can share their favorite plant-based meal. Challenge 6, a zero waste day. Challenge 7, disconnect and read about the environment. Challenge 8, do an energy audit at home and in the classroom. Challenge 9 is getting outside, doing a nature journal. And challenge 10 is celebrating Earth Day with the community cleanup. So those are the just an overview of the challenges, and it involves teachers, students, and families at our school.
Fantastic, Amanda. Thank you so much. That's really interesting. And I love the emphasis on getting families involved, because we know from some of the research that's emerging around eco schools is that a good important part of the learning happens actually outside of your classrooms with this work. It's when the children take the learning home to their families. So I love the emphasis on that in this case.
Thank you.
Well, we've got one last teacher in this case, Nicole Taylor Dela Cruz. And Nicole works closely with her colleague, Ngila Tahiri at Moorish Public School. Nicole is a special education and resource teacher, and Ngila is a kindergarten teacher at Morris PS. Last year, along with their amazing eco team, they reinstated Moorish as an eco school by certifying gold. Congratulations on that. And they're now working to build their capacity among staff and students through environmental education and Indigenous education together. So Nicole, lovely to have you here. Welcome.
Thank you. And I'm really inspired by listening to everybody's ideas. My notebook beside me is literally covered with notes because we're really new to this eco school world. And Jill and myself and really excited students are really trying to work hard to not just keep it within our classrooms, but also to build it and kind of get that energy flowing and participation from all teachers and as well as students as well. So this year for Earth Day, we're going beyond. We gave out curated resources last year in slide decks of some work and ideas and sort of activities that classes could do. We had announcements and challenges on a regular kind of leading up to Earth Day. But this year we want to go beyond and get kids outside. And we're trying to think of all different activities similar to what Woburn Junior Public School is doing, where kids would be outside, learning on the land, learning in our schoolyard, making a difference by cleaning up the yard, looking to enjoy what is growing and what's living in our schoolyard as well through an Earth Day afternoon. So we've done a similar activity at our school through mindfulness and mental health activities, and we're going to sort of take that for our Earth Day this year and have students choose 2 activities that they would like to participate in, and a teacher would be responsible for one of those activities, and kids would rotate through in an opportunity for them to just explore what they're interested in to do outside and start to really work at getting that environmental education, Indigenous education, eco-literacy sort of embedded into our everyday, and really not just trying to sort of work on eco school things as a one-off, but trying to really embed that into a lot of our programming. So one of the activities on the next slide is sit spots, which I was introduced to when I participated in CAM educator training through ACTUA in the summer program. And I just, perhaps during COVID, it was just a wonderful opportunity to be outside and just to find that place to connect with nature, to sort of explore with our senses. So we're going to make sure that we're adding this into our activities as well. I was a virtual teacher last year, and I did this regularly with my students because virtual, we don't really have an opportunity to be outside. So students had an opportunity to look out windows or go outside if they were allowed to, and just look around and take a moment to appreciate what's growing and what's living around us, which we often don't do. And this year, the grade 7-8s that I was working with kind of take different classes, participate in different eco initiatives. And it was a grade 7-8 class that really thought to take sit spots a step further by giving everyone a clipboard and a piece of paper for them to draw, and not just be in that moment, but also draw it and see what they can see as well. So we're just excited to really take an afternoon to have students explore different kind of eco Earth Day themed activities. And we'll actually recreate a similar one for our kindergarten students. We also have 3 ISP classes, which are students who have developmental disabilities. So they're going to be participating with the kindergartens in a modified 3 rotation activity so that they have an opportunity to also get outside and participate in activities like collaborative earth murals and obstacle challenges as well.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much. Wow, what a really rich hour we've just spent together. I've also been making mad notes as we go along in terms of things I might do with my adult learners at OISE. So thank you for all of this inspiration. And thank you to each and every one of our presenters today for all of the incredible work that you do, not only inspiring children in your schools and youth, but also inspiring us today as well. So for those who have been in attendance, I've just launched the feedback poll. If you can give our speakers a little bit of feedback about today's session, that would be great. We will follow up, give us usually about a week to get the recording out, but also to get a list of resources out for you. We'll send those along as quickly as we can, because we know that at April 3rd, we're already a couple days into Earth Month at this point in time. I will say that we've got one more event coming up just after Earth Day on Monday, April 24th. Sylvia Denton Carroll, who is the coordinator of outdoor learning and equity for the board, is coming back to share a little bit about the research study that they've been working on with Janet O'Reilly from the research department at the TDSB, and what they've discovered about partnering teachers and TOES, outdoor educators, alongside to help support students' learning. So we look forward to that. And I'm giving all of you an inside scoop. Please save the date for Tuesday, June 6th. Looks like we will, in fact, be having our year-end Eco School celebration. Last year, we had it at Don Mills Collegiate. This year, location to be announced, but it's looking fabulous. I can just give you that hint. And it will be from 4 till 6 o'clock that day. And we're really looking forward to seeing you in person rather than, we love seeing you online, but we also love seeing you in person too. It's a whole different kind of event. And last year's event at Don Mills was really special. So we look forward to welcoming you to a new location for this year. But as it's not quite announced yet, I'm going to hold back, just save the date for that particular event.
Great.
Thank you so much. Oh, Pam, yes, please go ahead.
And you thought that our events were done, but in fact there is another event tomorrow, just a half an hour, but we've got Let's Talk Science, who's offering an amazing, incredible workshop and includes some prizes. If you want to learn more about what you can do with Let's Talk Science, their programs are free, and Adele has already shipped the comic books and some other free prizes that we can give away. And I think Adele, she's there. Yeah, wave your hand. So half an hour tomorrow. And if you need the link, contact one of the Eco Schools gurus. Jen, myself, or Chris are in the room. Oh, there we go.
Chris has just popped the Zoom link for that into the chat, which is fantastic. So thank you for sharing that information with us too, Pam. That's terrific.
Thanks, Pam. Hope to see some of you there. It's gonna be great. Thank you.
Thanks, Hillary.
And thank you again to everybody. Huge round of applause and a huge heartfelt thank you to all of our speakers today. That was the most speakers we've ever had in one of our webinars. And I'm so impressed that you all stayed on time and shared such rich information at the same time. That's really impressive. So thank you, everybody. I hope we'll see you on April 24th for our next webinar.